This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Very busy show today. We have college football to break down. We have NFL for not only tonight with the Niners and the Rams, but also a game for Sunday, UFC 320. So much to get to. So, Lee, no more wasting time. We're going to get right to our first blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out. Turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
That's what a lot of people may expect with the side in this game, with plenty of big names out on San Francisco, including Brock Purdy. We're going to see Mac Jones again at quarterback, a couple offensive weapons out. But on the Rams side, Lee, Puka Nacua. You know what? I apologize. You're the best receiver in the NFL. I am so sorry about that one. Puka Nacua, he just dominates every week. It doesn't make a difference. What is he going to do tonight against the San Francisco defense?
Well, the line is ballooned up here in this game. So, when you see a line that goes, from a field goal to a touchdown, opens the back door here. So I don't want to get involved in the game. I think a player prop is the better way to approach this game. Puka Nacua, he should go well over 100 yards. I mean, this is the start of maybe an all-time great receiving season for a receiver. So if he keeps up this pace, it's going to be insane. He now has 42 receptions for 503 yards in 4 games. This game has a total of 45.5. So I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities unless they have a big lead here. And remember, no Bosa to harass his quarterback. So going to allow them more time, more completions, more time to get across the middle. His crossing routes or he's almost unguardable right now. Made Xavier Howard, formerly of the Dolphins, now with Indianapolis, who had to try to cover him last week. He retired after trying to guard the guy. So I just think he's, like I said, he's one of those 4, 5, 6 receivers that's unguardable, good matchups, and they should have plenty of possessions here with San Francisco with so many injuries on both sides of the ball. So Puka Nacua over 95.5 receiving yards, -115, blowout special to start the day.
Second straight NFC West matchup on Thursday Night Football. We saw Seattle hold off Arizona last week, and now see if San Francisco can find a way to do with Mac Jones at quarterback against the Rams off that comeback win over the Colts last week. Take a quick look, Lee, back at last night. Perfect 2-0 on our selections. You have 3 elimination games today in Major League Baseball. We won with the Yankees, barely, but it's a win. -0.5 run in the first 5. I had them up 2-0 out of the gate, and then Boston tied it, and then the Yankees got that run in the bottom of the 5th. The fly ball that went off Duran's glove in left field. Yankees got that run. Yankees held him off at the end. So we'll take that. So Yankees-Red Sox get a game 3 coming up tonight, Lee.
Yeah, that's what the public and most of the world wants to see. They want to see a game 3 with those 2 teams. So maybe not so much with Detroit and Cleveland, where both teams, about the only thing they can say about their hitting is they're looking for timely hitting. But a lot of drama, a lot of great players, and that Boston Yankees series. Trust me, I'll be tuned in before I start watching the football games tonight. So a lot of fun. I mean, the greatest rivalry in baseball.
Yeah, and ESPN, I'm sure happy to get them for one more game tonight. The only series that's over, the Dodgers, they were down 2-0 early to the Reds, but they came back and they rolled, and you had over on their team total last night. And you feel like, Lee, with them, you're never out of it with that team total because they're always going to find a way to bust out eventually.
Yeah, first couple innings, they were not able to push across the run. Then all of a sudden the floodgates opened. They are just so deep. And they got guys that can hit, run, People didn't even talk about that. Ohtani, when he hits the ball out of the box, I mean, he could probably beat out 20% of the balls if he really went all out all the time. So they got speed galore, power, average. I mean, they have it all. They put it all together. I still think they're the favorite.
Yeah, Dodgers and Phillies coming up in the NLDS. We have best of 5 there, and then the Brewers will get the winner of the Padres and the Cubs coming up in the next round. So we have no baseball picks today. That's fine. We have plenty of other picks, and we'll go now to college football. This segment, second blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
So last week, Lee, the Illinois Fighting Illini, they took advantage of USC's lack of sleep and beat them on a last-second field goal at home. So Illinois, good start there in the Big Ten. Now they go on the road to Purdue. And Illinois laying 9.5. I'm not going to buy into, there's going to be a letdown here. I think Illinois blows out Purdue here. Now, number one, last year when these teams met, Illinois was a 22.5-point favorite. They needed overtime to beat Purdue 50-49. But what people don't realize in that game, the Fighting Illini led 27-3 at one point in that game. They were dominating. And then the Boilermakers came back, forced overtime, got the cover, almost got the win, but Illinois ended up winning when it was all said and done. Now, Purdue, off of a blowout loss to Notre Dame a few weeks ago, their last 3 covers the last 2 seasons as an underdog came as 14, 22.5, and 20.5-point underdogs. Here, I think this is a manageable spot for Illinois. I'm not worried at all about a letdown after the USC win. Their only loss came to Indiana, who's a bit of a powerhouse right now, so I can throw that one out. But the Fighting Illini, Brett Bielema, let's go with them, back them on the road here, laying the 9.5 against Purdue for our secondly blowout special.
I agree with you 100%. This Purdue team, just devoid of talent. Anyone who had any talent pretty much left the team. And I mean, Purdue's known for 2 things: engineers. You want to become an engineer, engineering school, and basketball. So they're going to be a bottom feeder in the Big Ten for many, many years, unless they find the right coach and he can, get guys from JUCO college. They don't have the budget to play with the big boys here. So they got to find a creative coach, maybe come up with I don't know, go 5 wide receiver set every single play or something to make it fun and create some mismatches and try to do something on offense. But their defense is wretched. I think Illinois controls the line of scrimmage, should game by 25, 30 points. Let's say turn the ball over 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and for the Fighting Illini, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, just want to make sure. Yeah, they got Ohio State next week, so this is a game that they can't afford to stub their toe in. And it's also a short trip, too, so I don't think there'll be any letdown from the USC victory at all from last week. We still have plenty to get to here on this very busy show, Lee. We have NFL for Week 5. We went over to the Thursday night game. We have a Sunday game. The Broncos and the Eagles, very good one there in Philadelphia. You'll see if Denver got back on track with that win over Cincinnati. Also, we have UFC to look at. Also, another Big Ten battle, Maryland and Washington, 2 old rivals. They meet up in College Park. We'll talk about that game as well. That is all straight ahead. You are listening to Locked On Bets. Let's talk now about FanDuel, and that's right, FanDuel, NFL season is here. FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And what can you bet on? A lot of things. Rams and 49ers coming up tonight from LA, and you can bet on the side. The Rams favored here with Brock Purdy out, but you look at Mac Jones props on the San Francisco side, Matthew Stafford props for the Rams, Puka Nacua on LA as well, what he can do. Also, you have the player props for Sunday's games, a lot of big games in the NFL, and then going into Monday night also. So really a lot going on. And then if you don't want to bet on the games, that's okay, because you could bet on futures. And Josh Allen of the Bills, he is the favorite to win the MVP at FanDuel. Also, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Super Bowl winner. The Bills favored there, Eagles right behind. Also, AFC and NFC champions. So you can bet on the games, the player props, the futures, all of that at FanDuel. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. We continue here on a Thursday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports already given out a couple of plays. So let's continue as we move on to the NFL and the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. They haven't lost yet. They keep finding ways to win. Not a lot of big offensive numbers, and we'll see what happens now as they welcome in Bo Nix and the Broncos. We could see the wrong team favored here.
What the WTF.
There's several different arguments you can make here, Lee, with this game. As far as Denver, a couple plays away from maybe being 4-0. The Eagles, they've had some close victories on their side. Offense didn't do much, but special teams took over last week, built a big lead at Tampa Bay, held off the Bucks. So the Eagles, a short favorite at home, Lee, against the Broncos. What do you like here?
All right, I think this game has a lot of layers. Let's look first at injuries. The Philadelphia offensive line, Lane Johnson, might play, listed as questionable, but has a shoulder injury. It's pretty tough for an offensive lineman, especially a perennial all-pro, to be able to block with an injured shoulder. So even if he goes, I think he's not going to be the same. Linebacker position, two of the top three linebackers will miss this game. So they rely on linebackers that can flow to the ball because the line's so good and they occupy so many players. That position is going to be depleted here also. Also, when you try to attack that defense, if you want to sit in the pocket, you're going to be a dead duck. Why? Because those two defensive tackles are almost unblockable. What does Denver do? They move the pocket. A lot of rollouts, fake a run one way, roll the other way. So Nix he's not going to be sitting here in the pocket. So I like that fact that type of offense against the Philadelphia defense, they should have some success here. Let's look at who the Eagles have played here in 4-0. So they played the division rival, Dallas, got up for that game. Then they had Super Bowl revenge versus the Chiefs and had to stave that off, played well. Then they had to play a team, the Rams, that I thought, for all intents and purposes, had a really good shot of beating them. It was less than a one-touchdown game in the playoffs last year, won that game. And then they traveled to Tampa and beat a team that gave them a loss last season. So who do they have on deck? Another division rival, the Giants, next week. So I think this is one of those games they're not real familiar with the personnel and the schemes. Going to be tough. They're probably relaxed being at home here. I think Denver finally started putting it together. I know it was against Cincinnati, but once that offense gets rolling, their defense, I think they're top 5, maybe top 3. They put pressure on the quarterback. Obviously, the tush push is going to work against everyone, but the Denver edge rushers and their cornerbacks are elite level here. So I just think that Denver is the right call here. Philadelphia is not going undefeated. This is the team, the type of coaching staff that can put together a game plan, and perfect timing to take them down here. Wrong team favored. We're going to go with Denver. They upset the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, 24-21.
And also, too, a couple other numbers here. Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown for more than 150. He's thrown for 152 yards or more once. So in 3 games, 152 yards or less. He had 226 in that comeback win against the Rams. And you mentioned that Tampa game. That was a huge revenge spot. They got blown out the last 2 years against the Buccaneers. So they were really going to be up for that game. I'm not saying they're not going to be up for this one, but I think that Denver is now a little under the radar because of those close losses they had to the Colts and the Chargers. 2 games they should have won. So they are that close to being towards the top of the AFC West. The AFC West is really good. I mean, we'll throw the Raiders out, but the other 3 teams, that's going to be a really good race coming down the stretch. And again, A.J. Brown's complaining about getting the ball. Like, there's just, I feel like that Philadelphia offense, maybe with Kellen Moore not there, running the show, that there's just it's like a disconnect, that they're only trying to trust the tush push and Jalen Hurts running the ball a bit, but then there's like not a lot else when you have a lot of talent on that offense.
I think that you could put 10 quarterbacks on that team and they would win it all. So Jalen Hurts is good. Do I think he's a top 5 quarterback? Absolutely not. So the tush push works great for them. Got a lot of talent around with Barkley at running back and those receivers and the tight end. I'd like to be the quarterback.
Yeah, and it works out pretty well. It's just we'll see everyone else getting their share of the ball. So we will now shift over to UFC, where Lee has been since we started the show, basically in the summer. It feels like Lee's picked up a lot of winners with the UFC, and now UFC 320 coming to Vegas. So Lee, we're just giving out the blowouts today. Here's blowout number 3.
Oh boy! Last one out. Turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
Feeling bad for my friend, the Hidden Gem, not getting any love today. But hey, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So, Lee, what do you like here as UFC 320 headed to Vegas coming up on Saturday?
So, Yuri Prochazka, 31-5-1, is going to take on Khalil Roundtree. And Khalil Roundtree, good fighter. I mean, good technical fighter. Nothing wrong with him. He's 14-6. But I think Yuri Prochazka is just more talented. So sometimes Yuri Prochazka dances around. He's very unorthodox. He goes back and forth between, being a right-handed slugger to a southpaw, and he has it all. He can strike. He can submit. He is that talented. He's probably the second most talented fighter in this division. And Roundtree has power, and you got to stay away from. But he has over a 4-inch reach advantage. So when Roundtree is close, he can get in. If he wades in, I think he's going to take some damage. So I do think that Prochazka is going to knock him out. Not sure whether it's going to be the first or the second round. I would guess probably the second. Might take him a little while. He dances around. Sometimes does not fight the smartest, but he looked more focused in the last fight. He wants to have another shot for the title, and it looks like the winner of this fight will have it. So I know it's -175 to -180. Don't love to lay, more than 140, 150, but he's clearly the better fighter here, more talented. And, unless he just gets caught, which I see very unlikely, I think he's the right side. So we've been rolling in the UFC, went 5-2 again last week in the UFC, hit our 35-unit max wager. First time ever in the entire 5.5 years we've been doing the UFC, we rate our plays from 10 to 50 units. We have a 40 and a 50-unit selection on the same card. So I want to say it right now. If you've never bought the UFC, now's the time to try us. 7 selections, $57. ParamountSports.com. Yuri Prochazka, blowout special over Khalil Roundtree. He gets the win.
Yeah, we'll see if you keep it up, and just been red hot in these UFC picks throughout the last few months. So mixing that in along with the college football coming up on Saturday, which we will get back to another Big Ten game. We've covered basically the whole Big Ten, I feel like, this week. We had the Minnesota-Ohio State game yesterday. You could check that out on our YouTube channel on Locked On Bets, and what Lee liked in that Golden Gophers Buckeyes game. I had Illinois against Purdue earlier. We're going to get to Maryland and Washington coming up. Our lock of the day straight ahead right here on Locked On Bets. Locked On Bets continues here on a Thursday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports, and a lot of football plays today. And we will continue the football plays as we go back to the Big Ten. Washington going cross-country to Maryland. We'll see if the Huskies can bounce back after their loss to Ohio State. Maryland's been on fire, and we'll see if they can keep that up. And now it's time for the lock of the day.
Open it, open it, open it! Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
So the Washington Huskies, they got to make the dreaded trip cross-country to the East Coast, and we know how bad these teams were last year, the cross-country trips in the inaugural expansion of the Big Ten, and now Let's see what the Huskies have left in the tank after the Buckeyes took them out in the second half last Saturday. Washington, nearly a touchdown favorite here at Maryland. Lee, what do you like here with the Terps and the Huskies?
Well, the Huskies last year had big-time problems. They could not figure out how to travel and play a decent game. I know they were in the first year of Jed Fish's regime, but the combination of the travel and a young squad, inexperienced, and also not a real talented team, they suffered. Now, they're better this year. They have a quarterback, Damon Williams, that's talented, but could not do a whole lot against Ohio State. Ohio State has, top 2, top 3 recruiting in the country. So they were able to get the pass rush ramped up. But Jed Fish did not do a real good job of coaching. So I believe they were up 3-0. They were going for field goal. And what does he do? It was a long field goal. I think it was like 42 to 45-yard range. Try to fake. And I'm looking at the formation. I'm saying, if he's trying to fake, this is going to be a huge mistake. And it was just a poor call. And then he blamed his team for the fail. I mean, it had almost maybe a 1 or 2% chance of succeeding. So they had the guys back. They weren't really going on a full-out rush. I don't know what they saw. They had only had, I think, Ohio State 3 field goals or 3 or 4 field goals before that game tried against them. So I went back and watched the film. There was nothing. So it was an absolute fail by the coaching staff, not the players. You could just see the energy just sapped out of them at that point. So instead of being up 6-0, taking the points, and their kicker had made the first field goal right down the middle, they ended up failing and turning the ball over. Ohio State gets the ball back, drives down right before the half and scores a touchdown. And the crowd usually in Husky Stadium is, electric. I've been there in 2000 when they played Miami. It was one of the 5 loudest crowds I've ever heard. So the crowd wasn't into it. Ohio State came out in the second half and dominated here. So do I think Washington is good? Yes. I think Washington and Maryland are a little above average, just barely above average in the Big Ten. Now you're going to ask Washington to go cross-country, play an early game, and lay 6.5 points here to a Maryland team that is really good on defense. In fact, they're top 10 in expected per play allowed, also in defensive success rate. They have a young quarterback, and they're not a real good running team, but Malik Washington, there's a reason they moved on from Billy Edwards. So I think that this Maryland team is live here, plus 6.5. I only bet underdogs who I feel have a chance to win the game when they're under 10 points. And I think there's a real good chance they win this game outright. So I'm going to take the points. A lot of factors going against Washington. The letdown after the Ohio State game where they're going to try themselves, traveling. Don't think the coaching staff is great, and don't think that their talent is next level yet. Might be next year, but I think they're a year or 2 away. We're going to go with a level 2 lock on Thursday. The Maryland Terrapins plus the 6.5 points. They win the game outright, 28-24.
Yeah, and Maryland, a good win. I mean, now we see Wisconsin's not as good as we thought, but still a good win on the road at Wisconsin. And look, Maryland's just trying to find their way in the Big Ten after, all this time. It's hard to climb the ladder when you have Ohio State and Penn State, and obviously now Oregon added to the mix now. But for Washington, like we said, that the travel, and you came to this conference knowing this, and you can't blame them for going to the Big Ten, but you got to find a way to, against a team like Maryland, and again, the game hasn't been played yet. It's one thing to go to Ohio State. It's like, hey, we have no shot at Ohio State, but teams like Maryland, Rutgers, like that, like you can't have the excuse of the travel thing is holding you back when you have maybe equal talent.
Right. And these teams like Maryland, Rutgers, you don't think they want to take a shot at the new teams that are coming into the conference? So they want to shoot down the USCs, well, the UCLA, everyone can be UCLA, but Oregon's next level. But those 2 teams, like USC and Washington, they want to take their shots at them. And when Rutgers and the Marylands win those games, it's big feather in their cap.
Now, we have a big weekend coming up, Lee. Rams-Niners tonight, and college football resumes tonight. So we're back after our 2-night hiatus of Tuesday and Wednesdays without football. So, Lee, what's going on with Paramount Sports heading into another big weekend in Locktober starting?
Well, first, I want to thank everyone for listening. I know to take the time to listen to a 25-minute show requires like a dedication and some of your time. And Kevin and I do really appreciate it. And hopefully we're able to impart some knowledge and more winners and losers. And I think we do a pretty good job here. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to us. If you can, go to YouTube and type in Locked On Bets and subscribe and like, add a comment. Same thing for Amazon and also for Apple. So Spotify, do us a favor and like and subscribe and write a comment if you can. It helps us out. You want to hop on board, now's the time. Football, we won 11 straight NFL games, documented. Go to my website, ParamountSports.com, click on recent results, see every game I've given my clients for the last 4 or 5 years. Probably less than 5% of handicappers will do that, will document their record. Also, college football, we had a 40-unit winner in South Carolina. We rate our plays from 10 to 50 units. Our max wagers from 40 to 50 units were 73-29. So pretty darn good, almost 73% lifetime. Almost no one can make anything close to that claim documented. And then you can hop on board. How about this? We call it not October, Locktober. You can get every single game we've got through Friday, October 31st. 4 weeks of action. If you use coupon code SAVE100, just $497 on our phone service, where you're going to get probably 12 to 14 games a week. So that's how you can join us for football. UFC, first time ever, a 40 and a 50 unit selection on the same card. Never happened before. 7 selections, $57. And we've won 14 of the last 17 UFC cards. So we love this card. 7 selections there, $57. It's an immediate download. So as soon as you purchase it, window pops open with all the plays. You're ready to go today. You can start getting those and betting the plays today. We put it out early because we do think the lines are going to move. We want you to get the best lines. And then baseball. We're rolling now in baseball. You can get all the selections through the World Series. We lowered it from $297 to $97, or the player props through the World Series. It was $250, now just $97. So many options and ways for you to come on board Paramount Sports and start winning. ParamountSports.com, or you can always reach us here at the office, 800-400-9741.
And also you can find us on X, Lee at Paramount Sports, myself at Rogers Picks, and we'll be back with you coming up tomorrow for a lot of football picks heading into a big weekend. So we look forward to that. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.